Everybody, quiet down. Thank you, everybody. Everyone, take 30 seconds, get yourself situated. If you don't have a seat, look for an open seat. You can take a seat at the bar if you're unable to find one at a table. Thank you, everyone, for coming to the August meeting of the Donald J. Trump Kings County Republican Club. We have a great and amazing lineup of speakers, but before we do anything, I'm going to ask everyone to stand, to look to the American flag. Patrick Gilbride is going to lead us in the pledge.
I'm going to say the first word, which is I, and then you guys are going to scream it out. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Pat. So, I just have to do a couple of minor club issues, and then we're going to get on to our first speaker of the night. First club issue is, for the August meeting, pursuant to the charter, every single Republican candidate that won their primary is now entitled to the endorsement of the Donald J. Trump Kings County Republican Club. So, some of those candidates we have here, Mr. Elijah Diaz, Athena Clarke, George Sarantopolous, Peter Kefalas, Luis Quero. Am I missing anybody? And Janine Acquafredda. The first speaker I'm going to introduce is Mr. Michael Kane from Teachers from Choice. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Good evening, everybody. How you doing tonight?
Good.
Good. Great crowd here. Thank you so much. Thank you, Jimmy, for allowing me to have a moment to speak here. My name is Michael Kane. I'm the founder of an organization called Teachers for Choice. Thank you. I was a special education teacher in Queens for over 14 years. I was fired for declining the COVID shot, and now I'm been fighting about this issue and fighting for medical freedom and fighting for civil liberties in New York and New York City for over 4 years now, with a lot of people in this room. Yeah. It's been a wild time. It's been really hard, but it's also extremely heartening to see one of our own, someone who has been impacted just like me and so many in this room who are discriminated against simply because of a medical decision that we made for ourselves, sometimes a spiritual and religious decision we made for ourselves. Athena Clarke is one of us.
Yeah!
And to see her seeking office to be in city council means so much to so many of us who have been fighting in the streets, fighting at City Hall, fighting in Albany, fighting in DC, just so much fighting. My God, it's been so long that's been happening. And we're winning. There's a lot of winning that's happening for sure. But to see someone directly impacted like us, who's gone through all of this, who went to court, the courts turned their backs on her, and to say, no, I'm going to run for office, I'm going to make a difference. It just means so much. That's why Teachers for Choice has fully endorsed Athena Clarke for city council.
Yeah!
Just a few things. Someone screamed out, we're winning. That's true. I mean, we're also losing too, but we're also winning. It happens. That's how it goes. You step up to the plate. You know, sometimes you get the grand slam. Sometimes you strike out. That's what you got to do. You have to keep stepping up to the plate. But a number of things have just happened. I don't know if you've seen this, but there's a girl who goes by Sarah Doe who was denied 7 medical exemptions to get into her school. A federal judge just ruled she has to be allowed back into her school. Her medical exemption and vaccination must be honored. This has had a ripple effect across New York State, where we're hearing about students whose medical exemptions were denied now suddenly, miraculously, being approved because over 200 of us were at the courthouse, flooded there to show support, and it's created something brand new. We're seeing other victories in DC. We're seeing friendly voices, friendly legislators that are listening to us, that are embracing us. We're seeing legislation that is in support of medical freedom being proposed. So we most certainly have a lot to look forward to. And the most important thing right now for us here in New York City is getting active and getting mobilized for this election that we can all see staring us in the face right now. All of us, and I don't think there'll be any objection in here, all of us need to be firmly behind Curtis Sliwa to be the next mayor of New York City. This is such an important time, and what's coming up soon is the GOTV, the Get Out the Vote. We're gonna have to get out there. We're gonna have to volunteer. We're gonna have to talk to our neighbors. We're gonna have to knock on doors. This won't happen if we don't activate. It won't. If we activate, it will happen. It can happen. And I've seen that. I helped to run a Get Out the Vote effort in Pennsylvania, in Bucks County, when Robert F. Kennedy Jr. got behind Donald Trump. The MAHA and the MAGA movement came together. We ended up flipping Bucks County in Pennsylvania from blue to red for the first time since 1988.
All right. Woo!
And it was a massive effort of hundreds of people knocking on doors, having conversations, reminding people to get out to vote. And in New York City, that's what we all need to gear up to do. So thank you so much, Jimmy. Thank you so much for letting me talk.
Mike, thank you. I just want to say, Mike, thank you so much. Mike's ability to stand on his integrity is second to none. This is a man who left a city job. He was on the job for over a decade to stand on the integrity of his liberty and his choices. That is something that the same cloth we're all cut from. We all have to fight. Next, Athena is going to introduce our next guest.
All right, Athena.
Woo! Yeah.
Okay, so I haven't read in a while, but to introduce this next person, I felt it was needed. Dr. Naomi Wolf. Dr. Wolf is a best-selling author, columnist, and professor with degrees from Yale University and a doctorate from Oxford, where she was also a Rhodes Scholar. She is the CEO and co-founder of Daily Clout IO, a civic tech organization dedicated to empowering engaged citizenship. Since the landmark international bestseller, The Beauty Myth, hailed by the New York Times as one of the most important books of the 20th century, Dr. Wolf has published 7 additional bestsellers, notably The End of America and Give Me Liberty, anticipated today's struggles with authoritarianism, and offered actionable strategies for civic renewal. Recently, Dr. Wolf edited and released the Pfizer Papers in 2024.
Thank you.
A deeply investigative project arising from internal Pfizer documents obtained via court order. Collaborating with over 3,000 doctors and scientists, she produced detailed reports examining what she describes as gaps in the COVID-19 vaccine trial process, including concerns about reproductive harms, which I was worried about the most, myocarditis risks, and the erosion of clinical trial controls. Dr. Wolf has shaped emerging public thinkers from Rhodes Scholars to university professors, equipping them to become compelling public intellectuals. She also served as an advisor to President Bill Clinton's re-election campaign and Vice President Al Gore, and contributed to major media outlets worldwide. I know, right?
Can I still have dinner here?
Yes. This is a safe place. those things that I just read are remarkable. But most importantly, Dr. Naomi is a woman of integrity. She's a woman of valor. And she just exudes grace and class. And she will tell you the truth, but she does it in such a way where you don't take offense to it. And I admire her so much, and I consider her my mentor. And I now introduce to you Dr. Naomi Wolf.
Republicans gave me a standing ovation. No, I'm really moved. See, I'm actually weeping. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
And let's check, if you would, that the interwebs can hear me as well. This is such an honor, and Athena, I am so moved because there's not a young woman, a woman of your generation, I should say, that I admire more right now than you, Athena Clarke. So let's send her to City Hall, to Borough Hall. I'm so moved. Okay, so I speak around the world, and I'm not easily rattled. But I'm quite nervous tonight for a number of reasons. But the number one reason is I don't usually really have profound, like, humbling respect and awe for just about everyone in my audience. And that is the case tonight here at the Donald J. Trump Republican Club in deepest Brooklyn. There's so many people here that I've met before, first responders, cops, teachers like Athena Clarke, teachers like Michael Kane, lawyers like the amazing Jimmy Wagner, who put this all together and made this happen. Firefighters, and just citizens. And part of why I'm so humbled and moved to be here and so honored is that I'm always talking about what needs to be done, right? In the face of authoritarianism, tyranny, injustice, you have to run people for office, get out the vote, draft the laws, pass the laws, no legislative process, go to Albany, harass your representatives peacefully, and organize. And people are like, yes, but no one ever does it, except you guys, right? You guys. And I should say the posse out there, which is why I love the posse and Bannon as well. And, you could say she's a lifelong Democrat, which I have been. Now I am an independent. I have walked away. But what I really want to say, and I've been saying it for like 4 years now, is that it really doesn't matter that Steve Bannon, for instance, who gave me a platform when all the doors were shut against me, doesn't believe everything I believe, right? And vice versa. And it doesn't matter. Like, I don't even know what Michael Kane's politics are on a policy level, or you, or the firefighters. It doesn't matter, because what matters is that we align on the fundamental DNA of being Americans. Yeah. Freedom, self-respect, respect for others, autonomy, liberty, justice, rule of law, and that makes us here, whatever our labels, past, or present, that makes us here brothers and sisters. So I'm going to jump right in. Why am I here? As you outed me, I am a lifelong Democrat. It's public. I was indeed an advisor to the Clinton re-election campaign and to Vice President Al Gore in his bid for the presidency. Nonetheless, didn't matter, famous feminist, worldwide, Democrat, liberal, fixture on legacy media for 40 years, didn't matter, because in 2021, I did accurate reporting about damage to women and their reproductive health, which is a subject I've been writing about as an iconic feminist writer for 40 years, right? But that went against the script put together by the elites who decided to be in charge of everything all at once in a totally un-American, un-Western way, and I was canceled. Every door closed, as I mentioned. I was smeared worldwide, didn't matter what happened to me, except that I saw that it was the administration I had voted for. It was the Biden administration that did that to me, okay? So there was no hiding, from how awful they really were for me. But apart from what happened to me, I couldn't lie to myself anymore, even leading up to that crisis in my life, about what was happening to my beloved Democratic Party. It was so obvious, and honestly, it's obvious to millions of us. It's just embarrassing to talk about, and we all get canceled if we talk about it. But obviously, for years, this party, which had been a party of justice and inclusiveness and championing the little person, quote unquote, began to instead present this weird checklist of values and policies so psychotic and marginal and crazy and alien to moderate, sane people. And there was no way to pretend that wasn't happening. And so what has clearly been establishing itself throughout the West, but certainly in the United States, is a crazy machine that is part Soros, part globalist, and part Karl Marx, right? That's the machine called the DNC. And their aligned interests and candidates. So we bought a place in Brooklyn about 2.5 years ago, and I've missed the city. I spent decades in the city. We left in 2020 because we saw what was going to happen, but I missed everyone. I wanted to come back. So we moved into this apartment in Brooklyn. And it's a working class neighborhood, deeply established, very deep blue neighborhood. But I could see up close how the Democratic machine was betraying the people of my own neighborhood. But there didn't seem to be an alternative, right? That's how machinish the machine is and was. I could see that I didn't hear from my city council member, except for a day she held where you got to skate on free roller skates in a playground, and also get literature about programs for immigrants and refugees, not necessarily legal immigrants or refugees. That was her priority. And she has a very nice staff, and I asked the staff, well, what other policies? And there was nothing on infrastructure, nothing on environment, nothing on making schools better, nothing on safety, nothing on the voice of the citizens. And when I said, where do I go to express myself to her, there were no regular meetings that I was told about, and I was given a flyer, basically. That's not the worst of it. I came out of the subway on Parkside, and there was a table set up for my assembly member. And her staff was really nice too. But again, there was nothing for small businesses, nothing for et cetera, except for this. I said, I'm a small business owner, which I am, and I'm a woman, right? And so they have programs for women-owned small businesses, but it's nothing that would actually help my business grow in Brooklyn and employ Brooklynites, right? Nothing like that. Nothing like, loan programs, advertising programs, workspace programs, nothing to help me actually grow my business in Brooklyn, hire Brooklynites, develop, grow. Nothing. But they were so proud that they have a program that will cut me into government contracts, right? I can have a piece of their giant corrupt pie, even though nothing I do has anything to do with government contracts, right? That's what they had to offer me. And it was so demoralizing, so machinish. All right. So meanwhile, I see all around me addiction, homelessness, kids needing a quiet, safe place to do homework after school. I see streets that are at the mercy of, the apps, the DoorDash drivers, the the Uber drivers that are just deployed without respect for the elderly, the disabled, and I see small businesses struggling. And I learned, to my surprise, that there's a development going up a few blocks away from our apartment, which we had no idea about, which is just for mentally ill and drug addicted people. 200 units. And I thought, well, I now own property in this neighborhood. No one disclosed this. What's the process of approval? And then I found out there really isn't a citizen-led process of approval in Brooklyn. So my point is, I learned firsthand as a Brooklynite that the machine is so entrenched, it doesn't even need to pretend to try, right? It's not even pretending to try. You know why it's not pretending to try? Partly, they're not counting on Jimmy Wagner, Athena Clarke, Janine Acquafredda, Michael Kane. They thought you would never show up and that they could do this forever. So exemplifying the machine is what we're facing right now with the looming train wreck of this terrifying candidate, Zoran Mamdani, who just represents everything machinish about the machine. He's 33 years old. He's had no real job, a handful of short-term gigs, one of them working for his mom, the famous filmmaker Mira Nair. He somehow managed to become an assembly member in 2021 from Queens, and he's managed to have the most absences of any assembly member and to pass only 3 bills. He has no business experience, and he's running to take over one of the largest city economies in the world. Now, all of his haplessness, which by the way reminds me of a lot of the haplessness of rich kids I went to school with at Yale and Oxford, right? Very similar haplessness. All of that isn't as serious to me as his unwillingness to become an American. Now, I'm the daughter of immigrants and the granddaughter of immigrants. I believe in legal immigration. But this guy didn't even bother as an adult. He came here at 7 from Uganda. That's fine. He's a child. He gets to be not American until he's 18. He goes to American schools. He goes to an American university. He has 11 adult years, not as an American, as a Ugandan citizen in America, benefiting from America, educated in America, working in America. He doesn't bother to become an American citizen for 11 adult years. I'm sorry to pound the table. In America, it can't be bothered. Now, there's a clock that ends at 12 years. I don't know if this is the clock that motivated him, but it just happened that right before that milestone, he became a naturalized U.S. citizen in 2018, right before he ran for assembly member in Queens. So this is deeply, deeply, deeply offensive to me. And oh, by the way, is he an American now? He is not simply an American now. He kept his Ugandan passport. He is a dual citizen of the country of Uganda. Did he bring his assets to this country? He did not. He has $200,000 in raw land in Uganda and a couple of thousand on his financial disclosure in our economy here. As an adult, if you're not familiar with Uganda, you really should pay attention to it in this election. It is one of the worst countries on the planet, morally, okay, in terms of policy. They target critics, they lock people up for their opinions, and they sentenced gay and lesbian people with the death penalty until recently. And you can still get long, long prison sentences for promoting homosexuality. It's catastrophic on the scale of human rights, way down at the bottom. Did Zoran Mamdani, the Ugandan adult, help Uganda? No, he did not. But he just decided 11 years into adulthood to become a naturalized half citizen. And this is profoundly offensive to me. Now, he's actually a Marxist, as you know. We think that that's kind of a metaphor, but I just saw a clip on socials, which seems to be real, in which he's actually talking about seizing the means of production.
Yep.
And he calls himself a socialist. Now, that's not the worst of it, and this is where the machine gets very, very machinish. Can you all hear me in the back? Yeah. All right. He didn't show up, like I know these people well enough to know you don't show up out of nowhere, right, and become a household name overnight. That takes millions of dollars in campaign funding, media planning, a rollout, execution, paid volunteers, and so on. And it takes big bucks behind you. And his offerings are so tested to deceive people into thinking, yeah, I want free bus fare. I want, subsidized groceries. I want, accommodation for lower income people with housing. Not to notice that if you give people free bus fare, we lose $5.2 billion in revenue for the city, right? And that experiments like that in other cities have failed. Just like in the Soviet Union, state-run grocery stores have failed. And just like the projects, which have been around for 90 years, since the 1930s, have also failed, right? There's a direct line from the projects to very serious kinds of bad management, crime, violence, and so on. These are policies that have already failed, but they're very well tested to sound good to a young generation, especially that doesn't remember, what the lines looked like in Moscow in the early 80s. So a guy named Sam Antar, who's now a whistleblower and was once the CFO of Crazy Eddie, and he calls himself a white-collar felon, but he knows about forensic financial analysis. He showed that there's a complete circle of billions of dollars going into this machine. And it goes like this. I kind of want to hold this up so you can see this circle. But there's a Soros-funded Open Society Institute, one of the biggest nonprofits. Michael knows exactly what that is. It's a $4.2 billion nonprofit. So you donate to them and you get the tax deduction. But there's supposed to be a wall between nonprofits and what are called C4s, which can help candidates, help people learn about candidates and issues. But they're not observing it. So they just shuttle millions in tax deducted money into the C4s like Tides Advocacy, Make the Road, and that in turn goes to help actual campaigns like the Working Families Party, other campaigns on the ground. That doesn't end there. He showed that they have interlocking office staff and interlocking offices physically. They're the same thing. They're just calling themselves two different things. Then they give their officials $1.7 million salaries with those tax deducted funds. Then they elect the officials with all that illegal money, IRS law violating money. And then the officials, and this is where the circle comes full circle, give $16 million in grants to the C3s, right? And the whole thing begins again. However, also, those funds that got the initial tax deduction are in an offshore instrument, which could also have foreign money. Opaque offshore instrument. So here, this is why this city and its boroughs, full of sensible, sane, hardworking people, can't break the stranglehold of this psychotic machine. What does Mamdani propose? Legalizing sex work, right? Inviting the cartels into the heart of Manhattan and downtown Brooklyn and Queens and the Bronx and so on. Like, these are not policies that are popular, but with this flood of money, by the time people get to the ballot box, they've heard of him and they barely know who Curtis Lewa is, for example, who has served this city with nobility and personal risk for decades. So that's the machine. Now, I also found out in talking to these amazing candidates that there's other interests that are behind some of the horrible policies in Brooklyn, and that's big tech. That Uber, for instance, and the app companies, the rides, as well as the delivery companies, want to reconfigure Brooklyn streets. You told me about this, and Janine Acquafredda told me about it. And I see it, I see disabled people and elderly people terrified because the streets are being kind of cleared out for Uber. And people are just taking over. There's nowhere to park. There's no way for people to commute. This is not grassroots policy. These are deep pockets from Silicon Valley, treating our city and our people as, as digital data for them to harvest and to manipulate. All right. In contrast to all of this, and now the darkness. I wish I had like a soundtrack behind me, the clouds parting, the strings, the uplift. What I've just described is very, very dark and corrupt, but there is incredible light because this guy and these people on either side of me and in the audience said no. They're not going to have it anymore. And I know that it seems like how can I put it? It seems like a hill that's very, very hard to climb, but I'm just going to be like mushy a little bit. I've been reading through the Geneva Bible and like chapter by chapter, and our history as humans is so full of stories of people who were facing a giant army, and just by human terms, there's no way this could succeed. But somehow the wind was at their back. They were the right people at the right time with their hearts oriented in the right direction, showing courage, and impossible things manifested and became possible, became real. And that's what I'm seeing here. I mean, in just a few months, an idea has gone from an idea to candidates who are so extraordinarily impressive and growing more formidable by the day. Opposition that isn't even bothering to respond because I think they're scared, except to go after the 23-year-old 3 times to try to nitpick him to death and intimidate him not to run. And I also think if you know the numbers, you wouldn't be disheartened because there's very low turnout in Brooklyn and in New York generally. It's like 30% turnout.
Correct.
And there's 2/3 Democratic voters to 1/3 Republicans and independents. But with low turnout and motivated, whoever you are, those odds you can beat. You can beat those odds. The way that Jimmy and Michael said, knocking on doors, showing up. And other people have horrible choices. Right? The non-Athena, non-Janine, non-Elijah choices are terrible choices. So there's a spiritual good chance and there's a material real chance. So I'm going to close by saying from these candidates, I've learned so much already, which is why I'm in awe. So many things from Athena Clarke. I have learned that there are lithium battery facilities where her husband is a firefighter. So I believe this when she says it. You can't put the fires out if they catch on fire. You have to let them just burn till they go out and destroy everything around them and make the air toxic and the earth toxic. That's going up. And it's going up in the boroughs. I used to live in Manhattan. They're not going up in Manhattan, right? So that's an injustice. And no one's speaking up for the people who live around those planned facilities. No one said that was okay in Brooklyn. I have learned from Elijah Diaz that they went after him 3 times. I learned from Luis Quero that his slogan is so great. You just want to go to work without being stabbed or burned to death. I learned that there's an entrenched kind of NGO infrastructure that I've talked about that needs to be dismantled. He wants to train young people in IT, AI, and other tech skills, high-paying jobs, because the delivery jobs and the service jobs have been, outshored or handed over to not them. And I'm learning hope from the candidates. I learned from Janine Acquafredda, all about what is wrong with the real estate situation, how to fix it, how to support small landlords, support small business owners, and details. And these are people who literally are living their integrity. They listen to the people around them, so they're bringing up issues that their neighbors are bringing to them. And so I'm profoundly moved. Your opponent has weird policies. She does. And then I will close. She has things like make sure that cops interact with autistic people in a certain way. That's an actual bill of hers, which cops have said is kind of insulting to them. She has a bill to make mental health support available for immigrants and refugees, but not for people, who are legally here, Americans, exactly.
White people.
Well, I don't want to go there. And a bunch of like weird random bills that again have nothing to do with the problems that you've described in District 46. Okay, so I'll close by saying the DNC is done here. They just don't know it. When people know there's an alternative, which they're going to know because we are live streaming and showcasing you and you're showcasing yourselves, when they know there's an alternative, they're going to flock to all of you. These candidates are miracles. Brooklyn, in its beauty and real, not fake diversity, is a miracle. The hard work and high aspirations of its citizens have been miracles for 400 years. New York City is a miracle. Let's support these fighters and let's save this city.
Dr. Naomi Wolf, thank you so much for coming to speak to the club. Thank you for everything you're doing for all of our candidates out here. It is greatly appreciated. Everybody who paid for a VIP ticket, you have Dr. Naomi Wolf's latest book in the bag. You can, after the meeting, bring it up to the table. She'll be happy to autograph it for you. On the table is her most recent article at the Daily Clout. And one last thing, she didn't promote her own business, Daily Clout, which is a great website. It has something on it called the webcam. And what you can look up is each of the bills. Billcam. It's Billcam. And you can actually go there, type up the bills that are going to be released in our state. And that was how I found out about the Andrew Gennardis bill, that in 2050, he wants to limit our ability to drive. He literally wrote a bill that says you have to reduce your driving by 20%. The government is literally at the point telling us to reduce our driving as if they have that ability. So everyone, check out Daily Clout, check out Dr. Naomi Wolf's website. And again, I really thank you so much. Next, we're gonna have all of our candidates in Brooklyn that come to the club on a regular basis. They're all gonna come to speak for 5 minutes. And we also have the citywide Republican candidate for Comptroller, Mr. Peter Kefalas. I'm first gonna invite up Luis Quero, and he's our city council candidate. Mr. 38. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Jimmy. I also want to acknowledge Dr. Wolf. What a great speech. She's phenomenal. She's been such a great supporter of the club and all of the candidates. So my hats off to you, Dr. Wolf. So I guess the topic is corruption today. I don't know if anyone heard, but apparently the Adams campaign is giving away $100 bags of chips. So if you see Eric Adams out there, ask him for a bag of potato chips. So just to add on that, right? Apparently, one of the staffers gave a reporter a bag of chips, and there was $100 in it, and the reporter reported it. That's what reporters do. So no surprise there. Anyway, just to start with a little levity, because I guess I have a more morose topic. My name is Luis Quero, and I am the Republican and Conservative Party endorsed candidate for City Council District 38. Yes. Representing Dyker Heights, Sunset Park, and parts of Bath Beach and Red Hook. Since starting this campaign, I've had 3 separate interactions out in the streets of New York City with everyday New Yorkers regarding a loved one, a wife, a daughter, a sister, having gone missing, seemingly dropped off of the face of the map, no contact, no sightings, poof. The majority have struggled with their mental health and have sought out help in any number of facilities, public and private, across the city, only to be let down time and time again by the system. One woman, a mother of the cutest 8-year-old little girl from New Jersey, was released from a prestigious Upper Manhattan hospital to an outpatient treatment center in my district with 0 notice to her family. She was given MapQuest subway directions and sent on her way alone and in questionable mental state. She arrived to the facility in Brooklyn only to find out it had been converted into a migrant shelter and could not serve her. She then dropped off the map, disappeared, leaving her fiancé in a frantic state, spending most of his time in search of her while simultaneously raising their 8-year-old daughter. The fiancé recalls endless calls to the NYPD, local officials, press, online influencers, just about anyone who would listen and could advocate for him and his child and get the story out. I spoke to him in January as I was launching the campaign, and I offered to go walk the streets and put up flyers. We could host a press conference, a little no-name candidate from Brooklyn. I was genuinely unsure if anyone would attend, but it was on the table. I mean, what can you tell someone when they tell you they think their loved one has been human trafficked? He never got back to me, but I did learn that she was found later in February, thanks to a hard-charging NYPD detective. He's a saint for all I'm concerned. What the media has failed to acknowledge is that the convergence of the drug epidemic, homelessness, and the mental health crisis in New York City has created the perfect conditions for human trafficking.
Oh, yeah.
More than 13,000 people were reported missing in New York City last year. While most are promptly found, hundreds of people become missing long term. Our homeless shelters currently support an average of 86,000 people per night at a cost of approximately $4 billion in 2024, up from 2.7 in 2022, largely due to the influx of asylum seekers in the past 2 years. A 2024 report from the New York City Department of Investigation detailed massive fraud and corruption in the city's shelter system. DOI identified multiple shelter executives who received more than upwards of $700,000 per year. Executive compensation in these cases is funded either largely or in part through city funds. The DOI report noted how the city lacks sufficient rules concerning how much city money can be allocated to nonprofit executive salaries. DOI also found that shelter providers have employed immediate family members as senior executives and board members. One provider that is largely funded by the city employed its CEO children since at least 2007. There were cases where employees of the shelter providers had personal business interests involving the shelter, which they received payments outside of their regular compensation. In some cases, the executives simultaneously held employment at a private entity, such as a security company that also was hired to provide services at the same funded shelter that employed them. Thrive NYC was supposed to address the mental health crisis head on, intending to address gaps in the public health system backed by a multi-billion-dollar investment. A pet project of Bill de Blasio's wife, Shirley McRae. Over $800 million of the funding for Thrive NYC remains unaccounted for to this day, 4 years later. We are spending billions of dollars to address the mental health, homelessness, and drug addiction problems, and yet they're only getting worse. It's because the Democrats and their nonprofits aren't trying to help these people. They're using them as profit drivers.
Yes.
As opposed to trying to help drug addicts, they're enabling them to the tune of $8 million in syringe redemption programs and safe injection sites.
Oh my God.
Why fix a problem when you can keep throwing billions of dollars at it?
Exactly.
Corruption is real, ladies and gentlemen, and it is having devastating consequences on our communities, to families like that of Tashia Holmes. If elected, I will push for comprehensive nonprofit reform that will cap executive salaries for city-sponsored NGOs, as well as bolster reporting and oversight of these entities. I will also push for the creation of the first nonprofit database where the public can see what groups are supposed to be operating their neighborhoods, how much they're receiving, and the services that they're providing, along with metrics that will allow an apples-to-apples comparison of these groups.
Yeah.
I will also mandate that any nonprofits funded by the city must collect feedback from their constituents on the services.
That's right.
With the results of these surveys can be made available to the public. We need to elect officials like myself, like Peter, Athena, Janine, that are going to stomp out corruption and bring dignity back to our fair city. The fact remains we can't do it alone. We need your help. Please join us as we fight for our city this November. Thank you.
Luis, thank you as always. I would next like to invite up citywide Republican candidate for Comptroller, Mr. Peter Kefalas. Thank you for joining us, Peter.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
No problem.
Hey guys, fellow patriots here in Brooklyn, thanks for having me. You guys in this borough, but all the boroughs this year, we have some really good candidates. So as Luis said, support all the candidates. We want to take back our city this year. Next year, we want to take our state back, and then we end Kathy Hochul's reign of terror, 2026. But the reason that I'm running, I'm tired of being sick and tired like everybody else. I'm tired of seeing illegal alien criminals, illegal aliens come first, not citizens. Our kids don't have what they need in school. We're not going to defund the police. We're going to make sure our fire department, our EMS, our hospitals are staffed, equipped, trained, proper material there. And we're going to make sure that the government in the city starts working for the people, because for probably the last 12 years, it hasn't. We went through Comrade Bill. We went through, Dictator Adams, as I like to call him. So the good news is he's a one-term mayor. The good news is Curtis is going to be our next mayor, right? So we have a really good shot now that we can take the city back come November 4th. Now, I can't do it alone. The rest of the folks on the ticket, being conservative and Republican, we can't do it alone without you guys. But together, if we get everybody off their ass to vote, not just the people here, but all the folks who are registered conservatives, Republicans, they got to get up and vote. Traditionally, for a mayoral race, we don't see a big turnout, unfortunately. It's not a presidential race where everybody comes out, but we've got to stir the pot. Bring your relatives, your co-workers, your neighbors, anybody you can. Bring them out. And with that being said, there's enough Democrats, independents who are sick and tired of living in a third world hellhole that are going to come out also and vote for the common sense. It sounds corny to say it, but common sense. We'll put Americans first. We're not going to defund the police. We're going to put our kids first, fund our schools, and do the right thing. Our infrastructure's crumbling. Anybody take the subway lately? No. Unfortunately, I have. It's a hellhole. So, look, we've got to make sure that we use the money correctly for the right things. The city's on the brink of collapse. Obviously, Adams is a one-term. We don't want that idiot Cuomo, and we definitely don't want this moron Zohan. Bring socialism here. Well, the problem with the socialists here in New York City is there's not enough young people in this country, in this city, who went to third world countries or lived there like I have and seen misery, poverty, violence, disease, suffering. And they haven't seen that. So it looks great. It sounds great. Social, free everything, until somebody gets that check or the bill and they have to sign the check. So there's nothing free. We got to stop the socialists. But it starts with the young people. We've got to tell these people, you don't want to live in a Cuba. You don't want to live in a Venezuela. Look what's happening to these places. And not to pick on those two countries, but just the two that came to my mind. But there are a lot of places around the world where you don't want to emulate failure. And one gentleman from Cuba once told me that I met him at the Bronx Trump rally. And what he said to me was, socialism's guaranteed you go to bed hungry and you wake up with no hope. And that was a gentleman who escaped from that type of government. So let's keep that in mind. We want to make sure that the young people here open their eyes and see that we're very fortunate to be Americans, whether you're born here or you came here the right way like my wife did. She didn't crawl over a fence. She didn't jump through a wall. So let's make sure the young generation sees what's out there in other countries and sees how good we have it, that we have water every day. We have electricity every day. Our infrastructure's crumbling, but it's a hell of a lot better than most places in the world. Like, at least right now it is. So one thing that I made two promises, because as a fiscal watchdog, I'm not able to do the job of the city council, and so these folks would do when they get elected and make laws. But I can definitely audit the crap out of every agency, and that's what I plan on doing. Every penny, because it's our money, and I'm tired of them swiping a debit card or having blank checks when it's our money that we paid into. Whether you're working or you're retired, doesn't matter. We're all paying into the system, and we're not getting our fair share. So I made two promises. I'm going to audit every agency from A to Z, but the first two...
Nitro.
Well, Nitro's going to be number 2, as Jason knows. But my first one I'm going to audit, going back to what Luis had said, our former mayor, Comrade Bill, and the lovely First Lady, former First Lady, Charlene McRae, Mental Thrive, over $1 billion US. Where the hell is the money? Well, guess what? There's a lot of politicians who said it smells bad, it looks bad. If it smells bad, it's bad, but nobody's doing anything about it. I'm going to make sure that we look into it, and Comrade Bill and his lovely wife, ex-wife, whatever their situation is these days, right? Nobody knows. But let's put some bracelets on them. They're called handcuffs. Let's put them in jail, find the money. And regarding Nitro, I've obviously visited Jason several times downtown on the LES, but we visited another gentleman, Tyreek, who's running in the Bronx. And we personally did a piece on Queen's Voice on a media channel, and we saw the asbestos this guy lives with. His little girl can't use the second bedroom. Little girl. Holes everywhere, mold, rats, garbage everywhere. I mean, there's nobody who should be paying for that or living there as an American. And that's the second thing I'm going to swing at. And then after that, we're going to audit everybody and see where all the money's going. Where did all the money for the illegal aliens that we're putting them up in 5-star hotels like the Roosevelt? We're putting them up in every hotel. And what Adams was basically doing is saying, how much do you charge a night? 200? I'll give you 500. Sign a 10-year lease. And that's what happened. But it's easy when it's our money. Who cares? I'm not going to allow that to happen. So I'm going to make sure that we audit everybody, where did every penny go? And if we catch that person, whether it's Comrade Bill or Charlene McRae or whoever it is that was stealing, they get prosecuted, they go to jail. It's that simple. We cannot allow the principal city in our country for tourism and economic development to be corrupted with incompetence, theft, nepotism. It's just a mess. So we're going to have to go through everything, go through all the books. And I was at an event in Astoria about 7 months ago. One of the lackeys from the current comptroller, who obviously has mayoral hopes, which is not going to happen, actually admitted we don't really audit much.
Oh my God.
You got 800 people that subcontract to look at the books and do forensic audits, and you've got 12 people in your office. What the hell are these people doing? More importantly, what the hell are we paying them benefits and salary for? So I'm going to fire everybody that I'm allowed to. I don't know who I have to keep, but if I'm legally allowed to, everybody gets fired. We start fresh. We're going to clean house, and I'm going to work with folks here, these good men and women who are running for city council, and I expect them to win, where they'll be able to do legislation, and they'll be able to collaborate with me, and I'm going to show them. I'm not afraid to shame people. Here's where the money went. Here's who took it. Do something about it, city council. And I know these guys are going to do something about it, and we're going to move forward, but we got to find out where the money's going. We got to stop the bleeding, and we got to just basically wake up. It's common sense. No to socialism, no to communism, no to Marxism. This is a democracy, This is a capitalist society. If you want that stuff, North Korea, Venezuela, I'll buy you a one-way ticket first class. Right? So I know there's other folks that are waiting to talk. I don't want to take up too much time, but I will leave you with this. Let's make sure that we remember we live in the greatest country on earth, and we used to live in the greatest city on earth. We used to. Unfortunately, we don't. And I'm born and raised. I've been here almost 50 years, still in Rego Park, Queens, born and raised. So let's remember that this city used to be a great city where our women could walk, our seniors, our kids could go to the park without being attacked by perverts and maniacs with blades and guns and that stuff. Let's remember what New York used to be. Not too long ago, we had a mayor named Giuliani where he cleaned up Times Square, which that was never could happen, right? And Mickey Mouse replaced the hookers and the drugs and the gangs. Imagine that. So let's remember where we came from. We can't do it alone, the candidates and myself, but with you guys and everyone else out there who's tired of the trajectory the city's going on, come out and vote for us up and down the ballot, Republican, Conservative. Let's take our city back this year. Next year, we take our state back and end Kathy Hochul's reign of terror. Thank you, guys. 1
second. So, Mr. Kefalas, if you turn around, there's a sign there, reinstate and compensate.
Okay.
As the comptroller, you're one of the few candidates this issue would actually come to you in front of you, and all the lawsuits we're settling for all the workers who have been fired.
For the COVID jab.
For the COVID jab. As comptroller, would you approve the settlement that reinstates and compensates each and every one of these people who lost their job and lost their pay because of that?
200%, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Everybody in this room needs to remember not only our city council members, but as the comptroller, he is somebody who, even if Curtis Lewa does not win, comptroller is the person that us attorneys deal with to resolve these cases. The comptroller can 100% authorize the payment and get all this done. So everyone remember that. Make sure we vote for Peter.
If I could just say one
yes,
thing.
sir.
So my mom's a retired school teacher. She retired way before the pandemic, so it's nothing to do with the jab or that. But my mom gave her life to my community, our District 28, 31 years. She still subs occasionally at Alabama. So if you work for the city and you did your time, or you were doing your time and you got pushed out for the stupid jab, like I said, 200%, you have my promise that everybody gets reinstated.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you. We just need a reminder. It's not just the mayor who can get that done for us. We need to make sure we also get Mr. Kefalas in. All right? The next speaker I'd like to call up, he's not from Brooklyn, but that's all right. We still like him anyway. He's from the Lower East Side, Jason Murillo. Come on up. Mr. Administrator, walk around that way. Thank you. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone, my fellow patriots here and freedom fighters. How's everybody doing tonight?
Good.
I'm originally from Brooklyn, Ocean Avenue, Midwood, so it's good to be back home here. You know, no matter where I go in life, Brooklyn will always be where I'm from, where I got my start. Thank you for having me tonight.
Thank you for coming.
Well, I got an interesting story on how I got here. I was a Democrat most of my life, like many other people.
Sorry for your troubles.
Thank you. You know, I grew up watching, presidents like, JFK, John Kennedy, FDR, and, even when I was younger, in my teens, Bill Clinton, you know how that turned out. But today's Democratic Party is not recognizable at all. Totally not. And it's disastrous to see how far they have fallen. And I made the common sense America first choice back in 2015 when our now great President Trump walked down that escalator. And I saw what America has been going through the past, 10, 15 years, especially witnessing firsthand how much the Democrats have destroyed my community, my district where I'm from, in the Lower East Side East Village in Manhattan of District 2. And I made that choice to switch to Republican, and I haven't looked back since. Because the Republican Party, I'm sorry, let me stand corrected. The Democratic Party, I didn't leave the Democratic Party. They left all of us a long time ago.
That's right.
So I decided last year, after watching the past decade destruction, what the local elected officials have done to my community and district, particularly in NYCha. I live in NYCha. I, was in Virginia for a couple of years back in 2015, 14 to 17. But I had a house fire, so I had to come back to New York. And also my mother, she's been battling cancer now for several years, so I had to come back and take care of her as well. Her final years. So I came back to New York in 2017, and I saw the big change in just a couple year time, the change in my district, the crime out of control, and the negligence what they've done to NYCha. We still are dealing with polluted water in Jacob Reese, contaminated water, arsenic, soil contamination, cancerous material, toxic environment in Jacob Reese, Linear Ward, Baruch. And I decided last year to run for city council in my district because enough was enough. Because I am sick and tired of what the Democrats have done to my district, what they have done to my community, and what they have done to our city and state, our great state. And over the past year, since announcing my candidacy and running for city council, I've had death threats. I got into several altercations. I had a knife pulled out on me a few times. I had a gun pointed to my head. I got kicked out of my community center where I volunteered with the food pantries and providing community service to my fellow residents. I got kicked out of it last year because of my political beliefs.
Oh my God.
Because I am for America first. I proudly support President Trump, and I will not apologize for it to anybody. And I believe New Yorkers should be put first.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Not criminals, not violent migrants, but New Yorkers, the people that actually made this place what it is. From firemen to teachers to doctors to students, they're the ones who made this city what it is. Not corrupt socialist politicians.
Yeah.
Now let me tell you a little bit of who I am. I am proudly represent the Manhattan Conservative Party and also the New York State Conservative Party. And I am the Republican and Conservative nominee for City Council District 2. Thank you. And I'm running for City Council in District 2 because I believe in my community. I believe in my city where I have lived for over 35 years, raised in the East Village and Lower East Side, proudly from NYCha housing. Just like many of you, I know the struggles we faced because I lived them. And I'm here to fight for everyone in this room. Manhattan District 2 deserves real leadership, someone who listens, who understands, and who will deliver, not just promises, but results. We're tired of crime making our streets feel unsafe. We're tired of policies like congestion pricing that hurts working families hardest. And I'm tired of seeing affordable housing slip away while the voices of everyday New Yorkers get ignored. That's why I'm running for city council, to crack down on crime and to bring law and order back to District 2 and Manhattan. I will not defund the police like my opponent Harvey Epstein or Zohran Madani. I will refund the police and hire thousands of cops. I will make sure we will keep hospitals open and not closed. My opponent, State Assemblyman Harvey Epstein, and disgraceful, now former Councilwoman Carlina Rivera, who ran away to collect a big nonprofit job and abandon our whole district, they failed to keep Mount Sinai Beth Israel open, which affects 400,000 of my fellow constituents. And they were there to save many lives, the aftermath of 9/11 and the biggest pandemic we had in over 100 years. And they were there personally for my mother and myself. I'm a heart attack survivor from 4 years ago, and my mother was in a ventilator on life support for over 2.5 months. And if it wasn't for Mount Sinai Beth Israel, either me or my mother would be here right now. So I will have common sense solutions that keep our neighborhoods safe, not just for some, but for all of us. I will fight congestion pricing because you shouldn't be taxed just to drive your car to work or taking your kids to school. And I'll protect affordable housing because no one should be forced out of the community they call home. Now, I'm not a career politician. I'm one of you, a native son of the Lower East Side East Village, and a concerned citizen who is fed up with bullshit politics and policies that do not represent us. This is our moment. This is our 1776 moment. And just like our founding fathers 250 years ago declared their independence, today and tonight we declare our independence! I spent years giving back to my community, organizing, volunteering, and standing up for the voiceless, from our youth to our seniors, from small business owners to veterans. I'll make sure every New Yorker in District 2 is heard and equally represented. Together we will build a stronger, safer, and fairer District 2, a place where families thrive, businesses grow, and everyone has a shot at the American dream. But just like my fellow candidates here on this stage and in this room, we cannot do it alone. We need your support. We need your vote. This isn't a choice. It's a voice for change. And in closing, I am Jason Murillo, and I'm asking for your vote for City Council. And throughout all the obstacles I went through, with backstabbing, double-crossing, including a few individuals from the Manhattan GOP who try to sabotage my campaign and support my Democrat opponents. I will stand up to corruption, whether it's the opposing party or my own. Everyone is fair game. Because in my district, the Democrats have been running ram-shot for decades and wouldn't even allow a fucking Republican to get on the ballot. But guess what? 2025 is a different year. And thanks to over 1,500 people who signed my conservative and Republican petitions, the Democrats couldn't do a damn thing about me. To stop me. All the pundits, all the media have already called this race that Harvey Epstein is the next city councilman. Well, thousands of people in my district beg to differ. Now, while Harvey Epstein is trying to buy this election, like he's been doing for the past 10 years in my district and paying all these nonprofits off, I will win this election with the hearts and minds. I am only $600 away from reaching matching funds. And with your support and everyone watching this, I will get there and I have the ammunition I need to finally take down the socialist democratic machine and coda that has been controlling my district for over 30 years. And said Harvey Epstein would belong packing along with Anthony Weiner. That's right. Yes. So in closing, I'm Jason Murillo. I am the future of the Republican Party and Conservative Party in Manhattan. I ain't going nowhere. And regardless of the results of this November, I'm here to stay. Let's get it. And together, we will make New York great again. Let's go. And I will deliver justice for all the people who have been disenfranchised, ignored, and neglected in my black and brown community. Thank you! Justice will be served November 4th, 2025.
Thank you. You got it.
Oh, one more thing. And I will probably, once I'm in city council or state assembly, or you never know, I will make sure on day one we reinstate and compensate everybody.
Wow. We're having a great lineup of speakers, and they're still continuing. We have the next. So going to Jason's comments, how they tried to keep him off the ballot. The next young man, the Democratic Party tried to keep him off the ballot not once, not twice, 3 times, and they struck out. And for the first time in how many years, Elijah, is District 45 going to have a Republican on the candidate? 35 years. I'd like to bring up Elijah Diaz. Let's go.
Donald J. Trump Club, how we feeling tonight?
Listen, Jason going before me, that was a bad choice. He's pretty much everything.
Well,
Also-
I used to be a pro wrestler, so.
There you go. And there's so many lights in here. It's like I feel like I'm a politician now. This is like the sanctioning process. But no, it's great to be here tonight. It's a beautiful room full, and I told Jimmy, wow, look at the growth of this club, guys. Do you agree? I mean, look at this. Wow, I love it. Need a bigger room. But yes, if you don't know me, I'm Elijah Diaz. I'm 23 years old, and I'm the Republican conservative nominee in District 45 for City Council. You know, I've learned a lot in running for office, and the theme tonight is corruption. So I want to talk about how corruption has really affected my district in Flatbush, East Flatbush, Midwood, parts of Marine Park, Kensington, Canarsie, and Flatlands, and it's the heart of Brooklyn. If you will. Now, approximately 81% of my district is Democrat, and I took that challenge head on, and I said, listen, 81%, that ain't got nothing to do with me, because 81% will come out on November 4th and vote a Republican in for the first time. It's very possible. Now listen, they don't like me, the Democrats. They don't like me very much, and they've shown that. And why is that? Well, it's because no matter what they can do to me, I'm showing them how a goddamn Republican conservative candidate works in District 45. Oh, wow. For the first time. And that's a beautiful thing, because you see my generation, you know, Gen Z, moving in the direction of socialism. And it's interesting how the people I grew up with, especially, you know, my constituents now, you know, I talk with a lot of my friends and I say, you know, I really love that Donald Trump is in the White House. I really love that we're going in a conservative direction where people are actually waking up and realizing that, you know, the family values come first. Your community comes first. You respect your parents. You're not going to disrespect the people, the very people that make up this city. And, you know, my friends agree with me, but they still call themselves socialists. They're still going and voting for Zohran Mamdani. And I said, why is that? When we think the same, we grew up in the same neighborhood, we see exactly the same problems, why do you consider yourself a socialist? And that's because we have been disenfranchised and uneducated in our district. And that's the change that I'm going to bring forward in my district, because the corruption has been just rampant, absolutely rampant. And for the first time, a Republican walking into that district, I inherit all of that corruption. I inherit all of those systematic oppressions, all of those generational curses, and I take it full on. I'm hitting the nail on the head every single time with all of my points, because people recognize exactly what all of us here are talking about, what all of us here are seeing. For generations before me, for my elders and for my peers, they're all the same alike, and it's not a Democrat versus Republican thing. It's more so a good versus evil thing. It's more so a educated versus uneducated. See, they can try to knock me off the ballot. They can try to rip my posters down, which they have been doing. And they can refuse to debate me in a public setting where they have 99%. I think Las Vegas would bet 99% on the Democrats, and I tell them, challenge me head on, and they refuse to do it. Absolutely refuse to do it. They refuse to be accountable to the very constituents that put them in there in the first place. That's right. And I'm changing that dynamic. And we are changing that dynamic. For the first time, we have the Donald J. Trump Club in Brooklyn. Think about that. Thank you, Jimmy. Because you've allowed my generation to have a different outlet. So thank you for that. It's a beautiful, beautiful room. Thank you. It's been a very tough road on this campaign trail, where people tell me, you know, hey, you should have run as a Democrat. You're a good candidate. You know, you're a handsome guy. No, I'm just kidding. They say you're a good candidate. You speak the truth. You're out there with your constituents, but you're a Republican. And I said, what does that have to do with it? I thought that we abolished segregation by color 60 years ago. Just because it's blue and red, it has nothing to do with party lines. But you think I'm a great candidate, but you won't vote for me because I'm a Republican. Now, why is that? Because the corruption continues to run rampant in this city by people who choose to keep us down. And that won't happen. See, they also don't like me because I don't let the bullshit talk. I don't allow it to happen. I call it out right then and there on the Republican side, on the Democratic side, conservative side, socialist side. If you are one of the evildoers, I will call you out on it in exactly that, right to your face. See, that's another reason that they don't like me, is because I have an education platform that is rooted in supporting our teachers, the people who are with our children for a third of the day. I have a public safety platform that is rooted in supporting our NYPD, that is rooted in community service, that is rooted in philanthropy. I have a small business platform that is rooted in learning the exact tax codes that we as Americans are blessed to have, but nobody knows it. So let me get this straight. Let me ask the Democrats here in the virtual world, why is it that for someone who's doing the right thing, and I'm going out and trying to get matching funds and using the system, and doing it the right way, you get mad at me for doing it. You get mad at people for using the tax code in order to build a successful business that we're blessed with and it's legal. However, you don't get mad at incumbents like Farrah Lewis who cheat the system and use straw donors. You don't get mad that people cheat the system, but you get mad that people use the system? Are you kidding me? You must be out of your mind to support someone who wants to keep you down and tell you that straight to your face, but you won't support a candidate and you won't tell him that he has a shot at winning just because he's a Republican. That's what a lot of us here face. Janine, do you face that? Athena, do you face that?
Yep.
Luis, do you face that? Jason, do you face that? They're telling us we can't win.
Yeah.
They don't even know. They don't even know. They don't look. They don't even know. Oh man. The Republican Party is coming out strong this year. Everybody, the Republican Party is coming out strong this year. And not only is it hitting my elders, it's not only hitting the older generation, it's hitting the younger generation too. Don't be fooled by all of these paid actors that are paid by the Democratic Party to go and scream and shout and curse and vandalize our buildings. These are all paid actors.
Yeah.
They don't really feel that way.
And the bots.
And the bots, but they're definitely selling out each and every one of you. They're selling out their family members too. They're selling themselves. Why? Because it takes money. It's hard. It's hard work to build a successful campaign, to build a successful business, to build a respectable family.
Yeah.
It's hard to do those things.
Yeah.
But it's easy to get paid just to go out there and scream and cry and shout for a couple of hours, and you get paid a couple grand, you know? So the next generation of leaders is going to understand that, because whether they like it or not, Elijah Diaz is the Republican conservative nominee for District 45 for the first time. Athena Clarke is the Republican independent nominee for City Council in District 46. Janine Acquafredda, for the first time, Republican for Brooklyn Borough President. And this is just the beginning. 2025 is, like Jason said, is like the 1776 moment where we're letting them know we're here. We've been silenced for too long, but now we have warriors that are fighting for each and every one of us, not just for their own money, not just for their personal interests, not just for an NGO check. We're fighting for Brooklyn.
That's right.
And to close with this, all of you who have felt the pain and struggle like I have being a Republican for all these years. I mean, I haven't been a Democrat before. I don't have that feature. I've been blessed. I've never been a Democrat. But I have been a Mets fan. I know how to lose. Don't get me wrong. I know how to lose. Oh man. for all of you that have felt that pain and struggle being a Republican over the past 10, 15, 20, however many years, you have a bright future to look at in all of these candidates that stand beside me, and in all of you who come out and support these candidates, who support each other, who come to the club meetings to inform yourselves. And now you're going to pass the information back to your family, back to the younger generation, nieces, nephews, cousins, sons, daughters, you name it. The entire city of New York is going to see exactly what the Democrats have done to the city. And they're going to switch sides. They're going to elect Curtis Lewa for mayor in 2025. And they're going to see a Republican governor next year by the grace of God. So God bless you all. Get out there and vote, vote, vote. And let's get out there and win some seats.
Next, I will bring up the first in the history of the Brooklyn Borough President race, the first female, and she's on the Republican line, Janine Acquafredda.
Thank you, Jimmy.
You're welcome.
Mwah. Gosh, everybody's so good. I wrote a little script on the back of my insurance bill. I'm so unprepared. Everyone's so wonderful. So hi, yes, I am Janine Acquafredda. I am running to be, hello, Raul Rivera. Talk about a patriot. Has anybody ever seen online the guy yelling, I am a native New Yorker, I am American? That's him right back there. Sorry, I didn't see you. My eyes went there. There's a very handsome guy back there too. So my eyes went there. I didn't see you. Hello. Okay. So the theme today. So where was I? Gosh, this is why I have to write everything down. Janine Acquafredda, running for Brooklyn Borough President. Thank you. Yes. Thank you. My race is very simple. There are only two of us. And one is a mini Mamdani. So who are you voting for? This is like a slam dunk. So we're here to talk about corruption. I'm going to be very brief because I have another speech to do, and I've been running. I'm so exhausted. But we're here to talk about corruption. So I just made a couple of notes because I want to give it to you in layman's terms for anybody who's as tired as me. So they banned plastic straws, right? And then they made us get really big plastic garbage bins times 3, right? They want to spend billions and billions of dollars expanding the corners of sidewalks and taking away your parking from 20 feet to keep you safer. But they legalized jaywalking. Right? Right? They take away our parking. They cancel cars. Yet, our streets are flooded with 3 times as many cars for hire. I don't want to say the name because the lawyers keep calling me. Don't say names. Don't say names. We now, since those bikes that have the bank name on them, right? But they're actually owned by, okay, you said it, I didn't, right? Since those came to Brooklyn in 2014, car ownership has gone up 12% and cars for hire have gone up 3 times.
Oh, wow.
So then they stuck us with congestion pricing. Does any of this make sense?
No.
Here's your lesson for tonight. If it doesn't make sense, it's corruption. Okay? I was a lifelong Democrat, as so many of you probably were. Remember those Democrats? I call them the JFK Democrats. I do. They believed in DEI and helping minorities and helping the poor and helping women. I am the first Puerto Rican to run for Brooklyn Borough President. I grew up in the projects. Yeah. And I was born a woman. And I will stay a woman. Still a woman. But yet, the legacy media refuses to even acknowledge me.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Why?
Well, I don't know. I'm smart enough to know I don't know everything, but so does my opponent.
Oh.
Yes. So anyway, this has been a very challenging experience, as so many of you have already said. But I don't want to look at it. I wouldn't have gotten into this if I thought I would lose. I don't like to lose. I'm a competitive gymnast, a world marathoner. I don't like losing. So if I'm going to do something, I'm doing it with the intention of kicking butt, right? So let's think of this machine, and it is the machine of all machines. It's such a big, like, it's so, actually, you said it too, dark and corrupt and enormous. We simply can't think of it that way. This is how we're going to beat them. Ready? I just came up with this. Do any of you vacuum? I'm OCD, clean, freak. Anybody vacuum here? Okay. A vacuum's a machine, right?
Yes.
You ever roll over a sock? You ever suck up your phone charger? It could be that simple.
Wow.
Couple of good candidates. City council is not as imbalanced as it was.
Yeah.
Good point.
We can maybe not destroy the machine, but we can mess it up for a little while. Right? I'll tell you, when I mess up my vacuum, sometimes I just chuck it. I mean, and I know I'm so green, I hate to admit that, but it's like, I can't even figure that out. Let me just buy another one. Right? They will give up, but we can't. So that's my message for the candidates here today and all of you. Do not give up. If you want to say it in the words of Donald J. Trump, fight, fight, fight. Whatever it is, let's all suck up this mess, kill the vacuums, whatever we have to do. We are winning. This is our year. Thank you very much for having
You can check it out after. You can keep doing what you do.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. Didn't mean to throw you off.
I'm sorry, everybody. We're down to the last two speakers. Thank you, everyone, for being such a great crowd. Our next speaker is our homegrown favorite, Athena Clarke.
Hello, everyone. It's so great seeing the room so full. And like Elijah said, it feels like you're on a big stage. And I'm just like, wow, okay. Trying to take it all in. For those of you who do not know, my name is Athena Clarke. I am running for City Council, District 46. And in case you do not know your district, these neighborhoods encompass Mill Basin, Canarsie, Sheepshead Bay, Bergen Beach, Garrison Beach. Okay, and Mill Island. So we're talking about corruption. Let's rewind a little bit. So 40-something years ago, a woman and a man decided, we're going to leave Jamaica and we're going to come to America because life is too hard here. Clearly, I'm talking about my parents. And I am a proud first-generation American.
Yay!
And my mom and dad were like, we asked, right? We're like, Mommy, Daddy, they had 3 girls. Why did you come here? And they were like, life is too hard. We didn't want you to work like that. We wanted you to have better, wanted you to have more. My dad's a yellow cabbie. My mom's a hairdresser. She was also a home attendant. They always said, go to school, get an education, get a good job, then get a man. They said, your education comes first, right? Work for yourself. You don't have to rely on anyone. Priorities. And guess what? We listened. My sisters and I, we listened. We did exactly what mommy and daddy said. I got my education. Thank you. I got my bachelor's. After I got my bachelor's, I got hired for DOE. Got my master's in administration to become a principal or assistant principal in the future. And then the pandemic happened. And I remember when the pandemic happened, everyone was so scared, including myself. I'm like, what is going on? I remember they locked down everything. Everything was shutting down for 2 weeks. I remember speaking to my assistant principal. She asked me, do you think we're going to come back after 2 weeks? And I said, yeah, we're coming back. The biggest lie I think I've ever told, or the biggest lie that was told to us. Yeah. They locked us down for months. Children suffered. Businesses suffered. Many cops, firefighters worked, nurses this entire time. Then the big whammy came. You have to get vaccinated in order to work. I just finished working an entire school year with a mask in person while other teachers stayed home. I wanted to be in the building because I felt it was necessary as a special education teacher. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right? You guys know, you guys are special ed teachers too. And I caught COVID while doing it. I caught COVID in February 2021. Anyway, the mandate happened, and I said, I'm not doing it. And I remember calling my boyfriend, he's my husband now, calling my boyfriend, and hysterically crying, like, how is this happening? And he's like, I don't know. And they targeted the teachers and the nurses first. Mm-hmm. And I will always stand firm on this. I feel like they targeted us because we were women-driven forces. Because 70% of teachers already took the shot. Whereas NYPD, only 30% of them took the shot. And I know for a fact, had they went after NYPD, FDNY, or sanitation first, we would have never been mandated with this shot. They would have never gotten away with it. So fast forward, here I am running because New York is so corrupt that even with all the evidence that comes out day after day after day, saying how harmful this shot was to women, to children, to their elderly, they still rule against us.
Right.
Other states, people are winning. And there we have a few wins here or there. But when you really think about it, we all should be winning our cases left and right. Yes. There was no reason why we are not winning every single case. Eric Adams has to be the most corrupt man I have ever seen in corrupt. He does not care about anyone but himself. Yes. He continues to line his pockets day in and day out. Everyone makes fun of him as the mayor that's always outside. And guess what? He's proud of it. He took it and he's making it a slogan. So now he does his interviews smoking a hookah. That is such an embarrassment. Like, what are you doing? It is laughable. But really corrupt. These people, when you really think about it, during the pandemic, for those of you who don't know, my husband is a firefighter.
Yeah.
He's sitting down blushing, so I won't point him out. My husband's a firefighter. And during the pandemic, he had to work. And my mom called me on the phone and she's like, Tina, baby, I don't think you should let Brian come over because he still has to go out to work and you're at home. And I'm like, but Ma, I love him so much. I want him to be home. My husband went out every shift. The cops went out every shift.
That's
My
right.
best friend's a nurse. They didn't even have PPE gear.
Right.
And those same nurses, you turn around when what was it? At the height of COVID, the state of emergency was
Right.
over. After they put their lives on the line day after day. And now, all of a sudden, they can't work.
That's right. That's
If
right.
that's not corruption, what is?
That's right. Athena!
My mom and dad were able to buy a house for their girls. I have yet to buy a house for my girl.
Mm.
But let me tell you something. I am going to fight.
Yeah! All right! Yeah!
Hey, that's my line.
I won't stop fighting. I can't stop fighting. Especially when I have someone like this beside me. Who does not give up. Has it been easy? No. But guess what? Saying no to the mandate wasn't easy. So this, running for office, is kind of easy. Many of us that said no, they try to break us. They try to say, oh, you're crazy. I got called so many names. They made a Wikipedia page and called me an anti-vaxxer. And I'm just like, no, I'm just a critical thinker. And to this day, I still can't believe that we have to continue fighting this. But this journey has been absolutely amazing. Meeting so many different people from so many different walks of life who have not given up.
Yeah.
If there's one thing we all have, it's hope. And I believe in hope so much that years ago, I got it tattooed on my wrist when I was like 24. And now this is like my saving grace. I have hope. They try to strip us of it, but we have it. We have it. And as a Brooklynite, as a Jamaican, first generation of Jamaican woman, okay? And many of you in here aren't Caribbean, but if you are Caribbean, you would know they raise us tough. And right now, my mom is eating her own words watching me run for office. But, as Jimmy would say, let's get this done.
Thank you, Athena. I mean, this has been such an unbelievable journey that I have been on with Athena, with Rachel, with Michael, and everyone who knows me. I do not give up. And we will continue this fight until there's no breath left in me, no breath left in Athena, no breath left in Rachel, Michael, and everyone else in this room. I will not let this evil government do this to you. So let's just stay strong. Our last but not least speaker is Mr. George Sarantopolous, City Council, District Candidate.
Thank you very much, Jimmy.
Thank you, George.
Can we have a round of applause for Jimmy?
Yeah,
Come on, Come on, come on. And I want to I also want to do a round of applause for Dr. Naomi Wolf. So in case you didn't know, my name is George Sarantopolous. I am now the official candidate of the Republican Party in the 47th City Council District. I also have the conservative line too. Now, in case you don't remember 47, that's our 47th president. So in case you forget. And if you don't know what the hell the 47th is, it's Bay Ridge, Bath Beach, Coney Island, Seagate, Dyker Heights, and Gravesend. It is the most gerrymandered district probably in the city. If you see this district, it was drawn, whatever. Anyway, this is a seat that's been held by the Democratic machine for 24 years. But 24 years, the Brennan machine now holds that seat, which is now slowly merging with the Mendami machine. Listen, he needs a job, he's time limited out. But I want to remind you, this is a seat that Curtis Sliwa won. This is a district that, not a seat, a district that Curtis Sliwa won the last time he ran for mayor. This is a seat, this is a district that Kamala Harris only won by a point or so. This is a winnable district. I'm going to tell you a little bit about me, and then I want to talk a little bit about corruption, a little different kind of corruption. I've become a little bit of an expert in corruption the last couple of months. But that'd be too easy. I'm a lifelong New Yorker. I grew up here in New York, Staten Island. Don't hold that against me. Lived in Manhattan in my 20s, and I have chosen to live here in Bay Ridge for the last 25 years. I chose to live here. I am also a lifelong Republican. I registered. Sorry, Democrats, that switched over later on, okay? Nobody's perfect, okay? Nobody's perfect. I registered 3 days after my birthday. April 4th, 1991. All right, now I'm aging myself. I was in a rush to register as a Republican. I was proud to vote. I didn't vote for a Republican president, though, unfortunately. I didn't vote Democrat, though. I didn't flip. So, I did. Don't hold it against me. But allow me a little latitude tonight. I'm a little bit of a history buff, so I want to talk to you a little bit about that. A little different type of corruption that is going on here in the city. Now, all these corruption stories are valid. There's no question about it. And we have corruption everywhere in this city. This city leaks corruption. Come on, guys. We see corruption every day. Does anyone not see corruption in here? Anyone giving out potato chips here? Well, I want to tell a story about once upon a time on Christmas Eve, 1914, a battlefield in Europe. Christmas Eve. And why do I tell this story? There was a battlefield full of rats, mud, the stench of death, bodies, a no man's land. It was Christmas Eve. And the Germans began singing Silent Night on Christmas Eve. Shortly thereafter, the British answered and sung Silent Night back. And instead of bullets that night, it was carols echoing across the battlefield. United by faith, by their belief. By morning, the men climbed out of the trenches. They traded cigarettes, played soccer, traded even chocolate. They buried their dead together, and they even played soccer together. Enemies, mortal enemies. They were told to hate each other, but found peace for a moment, at least for a day. They found something in common, their faith. Of course, the war machine wanted them back, and within the next day, they went back to killing each other. Because peace doesn't profit the powerful. Division, chaos, bloodshed. That's what keeps the machine alive. We've heard a lot of conversations, a lot of talk here about the machine, and I am here to tell you, and Dr. Naomi Wolf is definitely the expert on this, the machine is alive and well. It's a war machine back then, and it's now a political machine. And that's where we are in New York today. We have to find what we have in common. For them, it was faith. For us, it's the belief that New York has a future.
Yeah.
Do we believe New York City has a future? Yeah. Come on, guys, I don't hear you. Yes. But there's a danger. Corruption is not just in City Hall, even though it's rampant in City Hall. It just doesn't sit in back rooms. It didn't sit in a city agency. Corruption creeps into our belief. We want to stop believing. We want to give up. It's death by 1,000 cuts, and sometimes we want to just say, you know what, the hell with it. I'm going to move to North Carolina, Florida, and Jersey and give up. God forbid Jersey, though. And that's what the professional political class wants. They want us divided. They want us distracted. Totally. They want us to lose faith, to give up hope, to stop believing that the city can be saved.
That's right.
Because once they corrupt your belief, you will give up.
That's right.
And then they have already won.
Yep.
And then they're going to try to sell you this socialist utopia that this Mayor Mandami, if he gets elected, God help us, who came from some estate in Uganda and had some nice Nepo baby lifestyle here in New York, while my parents came here, worked their butt off in a restaurant just to get a little piece of the American dream.
That's right.
He's coming over here to tell us how to live. And they will push the same policies that have failed over and over and over again.
That's right.
And one of his allies that I'm running against, as some people have called her online, Commie Kayla, her club, the Bay Ridge Democrats, just endorsed Mandami a couple of weeks ago. She's a radical socialist gentrifier from Ohio who's now going to tell you New Yorkers how to live with the guy from the estate from Uganda.
Send her ass back November 4th.
I need your help. I need your help. She has told voters out there, we have proof of it, she has told voters if she gets elected, she will make sure that a Republican never gets elected in Southern Brooklyn again.
Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, leave that to your imagination, what is planned for our beautiful community here in Southern Brooklyn. But let's look around and get back to our beliefs. That the fact that you came here tonight proves something. You haven't lost your belief. You believe in the future of our city as well as our country. You believe that it's worth fighting for.
Yes.
And you believe that we have a future and we can make our city great again.
Yes.
So the corruption I want to talk about, the corruption that I want you to be on guard for, is a corruption of our belief. And you have to be on guard. You do not give up. Get your neighbor across the street that you don't even like and go talk to him.
Yeah.
Go talk to your colleague at work that's kind of weird. Call up your ex that probably hates you and tell her she needs to come out and vote.
She might vote against me.
We will never, ever, ever surrender and give up. We will fight for every neighborhood, for every voter, and every mind out there to bring back our city to the greatness it once was.
That's right.
This is our moment. This is your moment. Let's make it happen. Let's work our butts off to take back our city and make it not great again, but glorious again.
Yeah.
Yo, what's up?
I asked you in July to speak. I'm a former mayoral candidate. You said no. You said no in August. I got something very important to say. Who wants Mondami for mayor of this city? I gotta
Mr. Rep. Mr. Rep.
Go ahead. The only way forward is to support Andrew Cuomo.
Take me off as an honorary member. You put me on your club. You didn't even ask.
Thank you, everybody.
We should,
One second.
Let him know I'm trying to political.
Yeah, I will.
Raul might do it. The guy's still alive.
Okay. So everybody, guys, we're getting to the end. I have a couple more announcements. Number one, there is a beautiful app. It's from OPPSCORE.org. Opscore.org. And what it is a bipartisan website where you can enter your own information in and figure out which mayoral candidate suits your personal answers best. It's bipartisan. It came from the Queens Republican Club. They brought it here for us. So let's, yeah. Next week, whoops, it's all right. Next week, on August 27th, there's going to be a fundraiser for Curtis Lewa in this very building, and it's the host committee it's next week. It's Thursday. It's Wednesday the 27th, and it's the host committee. Every Republican who's a Republican in Brooklyn will be there. We're talking Nicole Maliatakis, Michael Tanusis, the chair, Richie Barsimian, Alec Brooke Kresnasny, David Carr, Steve Chan, Ina Vernikoff, Liam McCabe, Lester Chang, Michael Novikov. And if I missed anybody, I apologize. And if you're interested and you want to help with that, speak to Gabby in the back. Gabby, raise your hand. Gabby also has the Curtis Lewa signs. Next month, it's from 5 to 7. It's from 5 to 7. So speak to Gabby. She can give you that information.
Say the address for the online audience.
Yes, the address is 1305 86th Street, Brooklyn, New York, 11228. You can RSVP. The email is rsvp@sliwa4nyc.com. Number 2, all my Brooklyn candidates, the app that the club has been developing to help you get out the vote. We are in the 9th inning. There was a couple of bugs. Please reach out to me. You guys are going to run this beta test on it for the month of September. It's going to be free. Every one of our candidates here in Brooklyn can use it. Mr. Kefalas, if you want to use it for helping yourself in Brooklyn, I've only uploaded the data for Brooklyn. But you're welcome to use it. It's free, unlike every other app company out there selling our politicians or candidates apps at $10,000 a month. I've developed it with the club, and we're going to give it to our Republican politicians for free in Kings County. Next month, we have Robert Ort, State Senator Robert Ort, coming down from Albany to speak to the club. So, everyone, Melissa Vital, the Instagram Brooklyn legend, is going to be coming to speak next month. we're gonna wrap up the meeting, and I'm gonna ask Dr. Wolf, in lieu of shutting the stream down immediately, can each of the candidates just get 20 seconds to give their information to the live audience that's watching us? I think that might be the easiest way to relay it to them.
Yeah.
That way, each of the candidates just come up here.
Yep.
And also where to donate.
And to tell the online people where to donate. For everybody who's close, use this. It's being streamed right here. Please stand in front of it. Everybody else, shake hands, get to know your candidates. George has literature. All the candidates have literature at the back. Whoever wants it, meet the candidates. Use this time online to tell their information. Yes.
All right.
Oh, hey guys, come here. So, one last thing. Please.
Don't go. We got gifts. We bear gifts.
I didn't realize. So the message came through. This is Antonio. He's the CEO of Sticker Mule.
No, that's not me. I'm sorry. So he's what? So I'll
you say it. Go ahead, real quick.
All right, guys. So,
guys, 1 second.
I come bearing gifts. All right. So my name is Sean, mostly known as DVS 7.0. Yes. A lot of you people here know me. So actually, I'm a good friend of Anthony Constantino, the CEO of Sticker Mule, and he has authorized me here today to donate to all the candidates here $1,000 in Sticker Mule credits to help you with your campaign for yard signs, shirts. I mean, hey, can you pass me one of those sheets over there? Or actually, you have one here. Sorry. There
you go.
Okay, so on the Sticker Mule app, so just so you guys know, actually beforehand, Anthony Constantino, he's the CEO of Sticker Mule. He went viral recently, a while back after the assassination attempt on Trump. After the assassination attempt on Trump, he put out a big email to all of his employees. He has over 1,200 employees all over the world. And he put out an email and said, this is enough. The age of people being afraid to speak about what they believe and who they support is over. I am fully endorsing Donald J. Trump for president. This battle between us has to end. The world has no peace. People are fighting too much. We need to be able to agree to disagree. And he put out this email. It went viral. He built a statue for Trump and donated it to him at Mar-a-Lago. And also now he announced that he is also offering $3 million of his own money to help fund candidates all over the state of New York to bring new blood into New York politics. I've had the pleasure of meeting him and knowing him. This is a great guy. He's incredibly humble. I wouldn't actually stand up here if it wasn't someone I believed in so much. But this guy is genuinely a great guy. I can go on and on about how great this guy is and what a pleasure it was to meet him. But he authorized me here today to give all the candidates here. There's legalities with how you accept these kinds of donations, and we'll go through that. But he authorized me to donate it to all the candidates. 1,000 in Sticker Mule credits. You can create shirts. You can create hats. You can create yard signs. You can also build your own stores where your supporters can support you. They can donate to you on the website. You can even have SMS lists built where you have all your supporters. You're reaching out to you. You get their contact list and all this stuff. You can create events right on Sticker Mule, just like Eventbrite's. All of this stuff is automated through Eventbrite. So, lastly, to everyone who is here, he has also authorized me to gift you all $200 in Sticker Mule credit. To everyone who is here, you just gotta create your account, create your Sticker Mule account, make your login and password, and that's it. So, big shout out to everybody who's here. Thank you, everybody here. All these candidates, you guys are amazing. Thank you for the Trump Republican Club. Let's go.
And the last piece to donate, you can donate to the club directly, right? We've had a lot of donations come in. If you look in the back, there's a team there. They're actually filming a commercial. We're going to have a TV commercial on TV to get this room. We want to fill this room twice. We want to get upstairs, get the bigger room. To get all that done, we need donations, guys. Everyone in the room is funding that commercial. Let's get 5 more of them out there. Let's donate. You go to www.djtnyc.com, www.djtnyc.com. Hit the donate button. Donate whatever you can, and we will keep this fight going. We have a beachhead here in Brooklyn, for anyone who knows some military terms, and we're going pushing out. We're getting it done. Thank you, everyone, and have a great night.
What's your name again?